The tourism minister defending the government's requirement for a travel health visa. Social services staff deserves everything they are asking for, and that's according to Minister with Responsibility. And the opposition's promising to shed light on the government's spending during the COVID-19 crisis. Good evening, everyone. I'm Lissy Bastian with your JCN News. It's Tuesday, June 29th. It's good having you with us. Minister with Responsibility for Tourism, Dionisio D. Aguilar, defending the government's decision to have in place a travel health visa. The minister was frank with reporters on Tuesday morning, insisting that the visa has had some positive benefits despite the opposition's criticisms. Here's Laurencia Smith with that report.
Tourism Minister Dionisio D. Aguilar slamming the opposition call for the government to remove the travel health visa, which he says has helped to contribute to the rebound of the country's tourism product. On Monday, Progressive Liberal Party leader Philip Davis and several of the party's candidates for the upcoming general election called for an end to the health visa, while the leader issued a statement assuring that the PLP government will put an end to the health visa requirements while calling it a scam.
I think the opposition like to distract us by this health visa, which is really ridiculous. It's making hay where there is no hay. I think it has done an excellent job of bringing persons back in the country. And you know what our foreign visitors are saying? They feel safe. And because they feel safe, because of the health protocols that we have, that is what is encouraging them to travel to the Bahamas.
The Bahamas health visa was first rolled out in November of 2020 as another tool to help mitigate the spread of COVID-19 in country. Initially, when implemented, it was required for visitors, returning citizens, and residents along with a negative RT-PCR test to travel into the country. Since then, there have been some adjustment for vaccinated travelers.
So, obviously, the genesis of the health visa was to implement the health protocols as laid down by the Ministry of Health. And it's incredible to me that the opposition would think that somehow an airline could do this better than we have done. So remember, the health visa, we check for 4 things. Is it the right test, with the right result, within the right time period, vetted by or issued by an accredited lab? Now, if you expect someone at the check-in counter to be able to do that, then you're crazy. So it has worked very well for us. As you can see, tourism is bouncing back. The numbers are very robust. Atlantis was at 90% this weekend. Bahama was at 75 to 80%. And we've been keeping the COVID numbers low.
PLP candidate for Freetown, Wayne Monroe, echoed Mr. Davis's claims, adding that it was and remained entirely impossible to require a negative PCR test without a travel visa, as so many countries in the Caribbean region have shown. Minister D. Aguilar notes that due to our geographical makeup, the country had to take a different approach.
I think they've drawn this analogy to other islands within the Caribbean. Oh, they don't have this type of procedure, but they have quarantine. You can only go to certain areas. You can't move throughout the length and breadth of the Bahamas. The Bahamas is very different from the rest of the Caribbean.
The tourism minister says that he's confident that the government made the right decision by implementing the health visas for travelers into the Bahamas. I'm Laurencia Smith for JCN News.
Social Services and Urban Development Minister Frankie Campbell's clarifying that workers at the Robinson Road office yesterday refused to serve customers because of uncomfortable working conditions due to renovations. This after workers reportedly turned away dozens of residents waiting for much-needed assistance in the sweltering summer heat because of an outage of air conditioning. That said, Minister Campbell told reporters this morning that everything the staff's asking for, they deserve.
Everything that the staff at the Department of Social Services is asking for is being addressed. You would have heard in their complaints that they're complaining of discomfort relative to renovations. Renovations is a form of fixing things that are not the way they ought to be. In addition to that, steps are being taken to move some persons to new locations.
The minister adds that it's unfortunate that relocations aren't happening as fast as he'd want, something he admits he regrets. However, he says his biggest regret is that clients were also inconvenienced.
My hope is that the work that is being done would happen soon enough. They would return to a sense of normalcy, and our staff, our clients, will get the service that they deserve.
Though there's no definitive completion date, renovations on the Robinson Road office are ongoing, according to the minister. He says this is a clear indication that staff concerns are being addressed. National Security Minister Marvin Dame says that the upcoming general elections will be the most scrutinized in the country's history. His comments follow the Attorney General, Senator Carl Bathel, revealing during debate on the 2021-2022 budget in the upper chamber last week that people were showing up at the Parliamentary Registration Department attempting to register to vote following that landmark Court of Appeal ruling that children born in the Bahamas out of wedlock to Bahamian men are citizens at birth, regardless of the nationality of their mother.
The law is clear. And the parliamentary commissioner and his team are clearly conversant with the law. And the law is the law, and so, they have to adhere to the law.
Last year, the government passed a bill to establish permanent registers that would effectively abolish the quinquennial registration of voters that took place each election cycle. Minister Dames could not give the direct figure on the number of persons who actually showed up demanding the right to register to vote. However, here's what the minister had to say on the integrity and security of the upcoming elections.
We want to ensure that only those persons who are eligible to vote. And so the parliamentary commissioner and his team, as I've been getting the regular updates, are taking all of the necessary measures to ensure that this, whenever the election is called, that it will be the cleanest election in our nation's history.
The general elections is set to be held next May. In our COVID-19 update, health officials confirm an unfortunate COVID-19 death. That's a 79-year-old male of New Providence who died on June 26. This death brings the total COVID death toll to 246. Health officials also confirming a total of 43 newly infected COVID-19 cases for June 27th. That's 29 in New Providence, 11 on Bimini and Cat Key, 2 in Grand Bahama, and 1 on Abaco. The Ministry of Health also reports that the cases reported on Bimini today indicate evidence of a cluster that is linked to a local resort. A further breakdown of the new cases reveal that 19 are male and 24 are female. Hospitalizations are at 38, 33 considered moderately ill, 5 in the intensive care unit. A total of 710 cases are active and no recoveries were reported. Recovered cases remain at 11,544. Now on Sunday, 89 RT-PCR tests were completed with 44 negative results, 2 repeat tests. To date, 106,472 tests have been completed in country. You're watching JCN News. Stay with us.